thought I'd show y'all around the garden this evening. We've got a lot of stuff growing. It's been a little bit of a struggle with squash. They were wanting to kind of shrivel up and not produce well. Actually, let me see if I have one. I put it down somewhere. Okay, here it is. So see how that kind of shriveled up? When I read about it, it said that they were not pollinated correctly. So I didn't know exactly what that meant, but there were bees out here today, very busy with a lot of pollen, and things look to be better. I've pulled off, I think, 3 or 4 kind of shriveled up squash like that, but as you can see, there are some that are bigger now. So I'm hoping that things are moving along. And look at this big zucchini. It will be ready tomorrow. So excited about that. I think there's actually 2 in here somewhere. Anyway, there's another one somewhere in there. So that will be ready. So lots of zucchini. That's a yellow zucchini. There's a lot of squash. You see all these blooms. I mean, these are just waiting. Another baby squash. These small ones kind of concern me because I don't know if they're going to do the same thing, but they look a little bit bigger than the ones that were problematic. So I'm thinking that we might actually get these. Never had it happen. I've grown squash and zucchini every year. Never had that happen. So I'm not sure what that's about. Ooh, I missed picking one of these. Let me get this. I try to keep the, you can see all the dead stuff out of here. Here in Virginia, we tend to get squash bugs really bad, and it seems as if when there's leaf litter in the bottom of the beds, it seems to attract them more. I don't know why, but let me give you a little tip too. I'm sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the dog as well. So when I'm out here in the evening, I'm looking on the underside of the squash and the zucchini plants. This is where they like to lay eggs. So they are, oh, there we have some. You have to look so closely. So I need to remember to come back to this. And what I'll do is just take a stick and kind of scrape those eggs off. But these are squash bugs and they destroy plants here in Virginia. I don't know if everybody deals with them, but we have every year. And so I come out in the morning and in the evenings, and I'm kind of looking on the underside of the plants. Doesn't happen on all of them, but that is, you can see I kind of damaged that leaf the other day, scraping some off. So I've seen 3 or 4 leaves lately that have them. But anyway, if that is something that you deal with, that's where you want to look. That's the culprit. Anyway, so I'm going to try some other things. I put some coffee grounds down this week, and that seemed to help kind of deter them. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to try some cayenne and some other things there. But for me, it is literally just being out here in the garden several times a day, kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure there's no critters in here that we don't want. But it's hard. These are some cucumbers, and these are Armenian cucumbers. They're actually our favorite. They're a long cucumber, kind of like an English cucumber, but anyway, they're delicious, better to me than English cucumbers. So we get, my father-in-law grows these from seeds. I don't know if you can see, this is where our other cucumbers are, and we've got some babies on there as well. They're kind of on the, actually some of the other ones are on the back side. Okay, so this is kind of a mixture of tomatoes and peppers, and we've got tomatoes coming throughout here. I think there's some more somewhere. Lots of peppers on this plant. These are going to be ready. I think these are the snackable ones, so probably ready before too long. Then let's see what we've got going on here. These are okra. They're starting. So excited. Okra is one of my favorite vegetables, that and rutabagas. So what we deal with okra is, you see all these holes? Those are all from Japanese beetles, and they absolutely love the okra. My boys call them stacker bugs because they stack on, oh, actually, here's one right here. They normally stack on each other. But anyway, I come out here, check the leaves, and I just knock them off when I can. But over here, we have a mimosa tree and the dog rolling around. But we have to put a Japanese beetle bag there. And as you can see at the bottom, it's pretty full. But that really seems to help attract them over there, and for them to leave the garden alone. But it's not a foolproof method as well. Here I have some herbs. I have basil, cilantro, dill. I had to cut the basil back today because it was kind of taken over the rosemary. And here is a lot of tomatoes. So we've got lots of little babies starting all around. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of tomatoes once they start ripening and producing, and so very thankful for that. We've got a lot of blossoms at the top. Lots of little baby tomatoes all throughout there. This one, I've got to actually excuse all the dead stuff on the ground, and that's where I've just been trimming. But anyway, this one I just need to pull up. It's in a cage, but so there's some tomatoes starting on this one, quite a few. So I need to protect that. But anyway, lots more blooms and whatnot. So a little trick too with the tomatoes, I go through them once they're producing, and I'll just show you. For example, I take off a lot of this undercarriage stuff because one, it helps with watering under there. It kind of prevents like all that dead, yucky stuff down there. And you can just kind of see under the beds better. It helps to water. But the biggest part of that is that it gives more energy to where it's producing fruit. So if it's not having to send energy to those lower leaves, then it's much better than, you know, it just gives the energy to the fruit. And so obviously that's what we're wanting to do, is grow all the vegetables. So I do go through the tomato plants, and I did do that a little bit with the okra and the peppers as well. I think we have some other peppers over here. Probably should have just done a live video instead of, but I will at some point. So there's some more peppers. But anytime I see like dead leaves in here, I'm coming in and I'm getting rid of those because we don't need those. All this stuff under here, we just want to get it out. So you can see, I mean, it's pretty clean under there. There's some weeds. I want to pull those out. See a dead leaf here. I just try to keep it really cleaned up because as the summer goes on, things do just start, you know, getting kind of dry and dead. And so the more I can keep that out, the better we can see the vegetables. What's that on there? Last night I found a couple of worms up here, and one year, oh, there's one right there, or a caterpillar of some sort. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that. Okay. One year we had I'm just going to take him right off of there and put him somewhere else. Doesn't belong in the garden. These are not helpful critters. These are ones that can destroy our garden. But anyway, I found, and I'm going to probably say it wrong, but it was a hornworm, I want to say. One of the craziest looking creatures I've seen. Anyway, I think it's something with wasp lay their eggs on this particular caterpillar or worm. And I don't know if it's this one. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, it can destroy your garden, even if you have just one of those there. So we just want those kind of critters. I mean, there's certain things obviously in the garden that are good. But there's a lot of things that we need to be aware of. Like we have assassin bugs as well. Now those help keep destructive critters out. They will bite. So you have to be careful. You know, I'm constantly just reaching my hands in here, but I'm trying to pay attention as I do. So anyway, those are just some of my gardening tips on this Saturday evening, but I just kind of wanted to give you an overview. Like I said, excuse all the dead, but this is kind of where our garden is at the moment. We planted this Mother's Day weekend, so we are exactly, I guess, 4 weeks out from when we planted. So that's pretty amazing. It's grown a lot. It's been hot, humid, and I've just been watering. And I mean, look at that sun setting back there behind the mimosa. Anyway, y'all have a great evening. Hopefully I can upload this. Anyway, I hope this provided a little bit of inspiration for your gardening journey. All right, have a good evening.